afternoon. This is a sample of Shockwave Wet Demo demonstration model. So I'm Johnny. I'll be presenting this to you today. I'll be using the Shockwave C2 balloon that came as part of my demo kit. So we'll go over the equipment first, and then we'll go into the product demonstration and the mechanism of action behind the Shockwave intravascular lithotripsy device. So our equipment is made up of three pieces. We have a generator, the connector cable, and the balloon catheter. The generator is typically mounted on a pole, and it'll be left charging somewhere in the lab. So when they're ready to use the Shockwave, they'll bring that over. And then the first thing I always like to do is unplug that from the charger. And I don't know why the power turned on there, so I'll just turn that off. Unplug that from the charger, slide the door over, and get ready to put in our connector cable. Once this is in the room, we'll go ahead and power it on. Let it do its little self-test. Once we have a green light here, connect our connector cable. And then that is now set up, waiting for our balloon catheter to be prepped. The connector cable has a magnetic interface here that allows the balloon to easily be connected to it. It also comes with the newer packs anyway, with a sterile sleeve that will go over this whole setup to keep it sterile, and I can show you how to set that up at a later time. The button to deliver the therapy is right here. And once we're all connected and this light is illuminated, I'll show you how we deliver that therapy. Shockwave C2 balloon is a coronary balloon. It has two emitters on it. They're 12 millimeters in length, and this one is a 4.0 size. It's 138 centimeters long, so should be plenty long enough to go into the coronary arteries and deliver the therapy where you want it. On opening the box, sterilely wrapped package, you'll open that. The tech will then remove the card from there and remove the card and the hoop. The balloon comes out. Once the balloon is out, I take that red cap off of the end, and we're going to prep the balloon. We do that typically with a syringe and a 50-50 contrast solution. I'll usually put about 5 cc's in a 20 cc syringe to do this. I'm using a 10 cc just for the demonstration purposes. We're going to prep this with negative pressure 3 times to remove any air, replace that with fluid. So what you want to do is draw negative on that syringe, and then you'll go off to the balloon, expel the air out of the syringe, come back onto the syringe, pull negative again, and you can see those gas bubbles coming out. At least I hope you can. The camera might be a little bit far away. But what we're trying to do is just make sure as much air is out of this system as possible. Air inhibits the shock waves from doing their job, and I'll get to that mechanism of action in just a second. So once that is done, we connect it to our end deflator, and I will come on and pull negative on my end deflator one more time just to make sure all the air is fully evacuated from that, and then go back down, and that's ready then to be set up for treatment. Once we connect this, you'll see these magnets grab it and align it, and it just snaps right in. It's really easy to do. Just goes right in like that. And it looks like we had an issue. Let me just reset this generator real fast. Troubleshooting. We have to do this sometimes. Let's see what happens. Unplug that. Let's let this come on, do its test. Connect our connector cable. Make sure that's in there all the way. Connect to our balloon. There we go. Something happened. It wasn't giving me any fault. It wasn't giving me any light here. I'm assuming it might just be my demo catheter, so I had to unplug it, kind of reset the system. But as you can see, once you're plugged in, you get the number of pulses that are left on the balloon, and in this case, the C2 has 80, the C2 Plus has 120, and the vascular balloons have a lot more pulses than that. It also tells you it's a 4.0 12 balloon, so you can confirm that the balloon on the package was the balloon that you put in and the balloon you want to use 4012. Now this is almost all set to deliver the intravascular lithotripsy shockwave therapy. This button is yellow, as you'll see, and that means it's in standby mode. So in order to get ready to deliver the therapy, we're going to hit that button, make sure it goes green. Once that button's green, you're ready. You're ready to pulse on this. This button here is what activates the pulses. I'll tell you a little bit more about the setup and the mechanism of action so that when I am pulsing, the loud pops don't distract you from that. In this demonstration, we're using a gypsum ring to simulate the calcium that would be inside of the vessel walls. That calcium, once I start delivering these pulses, you'll see that it breaks. And since the gypsum ring I have is very small, I'm also going to hold it. So you can see, I'm going to hold the balloon as I deliver the pulses so that you can see the hard-on-hard and soft-on-soft aspect of how shockwave works. So as those pulses are emitted and that shockwave is created with that expanding and collapsing vapor bubble inside of the balloon, like 50 atmospheres of pressure getting delivered to that calcium, but it's only going to affect that hard calcium. It's not going to affect my fingers or your fingers if you were here to hold it. So I'm going to go up on the balloon to 4 atmospheres. We're at 4. I'm going to hold on to the balloon as well, and we're going to start delivering pulses. I'm going to stop when the calcium cracks. And after 2 pulses, that calcium's cracked. 78 pulses left. My fingers barely felt anything. I felt a little pressure. That was it. If you continue, let's say that calcium didn't crack. If you continue to hold that button down, in these particular balloons, it will go till it gets to 10 pulses. And then it will go into standby on its own. You can then go up to 6 atmospheres, or whichever pressure your doctor wants. Up to 10 is the rated burst pressure on this balloon, and then you can come down. When we're using shockwaves, shockwave energy pulses inside of the balloon here through the emitters, you get that vapor bubble creates gas inside of that balloon. So I'll often just come up and go down a couple of times to clear those vapor bubbles out of there. And on here, as you can see, it's rated for rated burst pressure is 10. The nominal pressure is 6, but the treatment pressure is 4. So you start at 4, then you'll go up between 6 and 10, start that calcium modification, come down, then you're ready to go back up to 4 and start treating again. Light's green, you heard the 2 beeps. Go ahead and start treating. Again. Just feels a little pressure on the fingers. Stops after 10. There you go. Go up to whichever pressure your doctor wants you to go up to, between 6 and 10, and then come on down. And that's it. That's a product demonstration of the Shockwave intravascular lithotripsy system.